Hey, everybody. How is everybody doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How is everyone doing? So, the topic today is this atrocious, this total garbage ass movie, Harriet Tubman movie that's out, that's playing now. So, a couple of months ago, I made a video on this channel, and I was talking about this movie and how they got somebody from off the continent over there in Africa to play Miss Tubman, and how much I thought this was a total disrespect to her character and her descendants here in America. Because I personally would not even support a film of someone coming from somewhere else to play any of our national heroes in Jamaica. That would have been a slap in the face. But anyway, so I made it my duty not to go and see this film at all. I didn't. I actually saw it on bootleg. You're damn right. You're damn right I did. I didn't go to the theater. I saw the movie. Okay, so this is going to be a spoiler. It's going to be a spoiler. Give me a thumb up, guys. Give me a thumb up, okay? Hit the thumb button. So this is going to be a spoiler. So if you have not seen the movie, just maybe you want to click off, because I'm going to talk about the movie and what I dislike about this movie. Pretty much I dislike everything about the movie. This movie was total trash, total garbage. Total garbage. This movie was a disrespect to Miss Tubman's legacy, to her memory. It was a total disrespect to her. You know what I noticed? You know what I noticed? I noticed that Europeans, they don't forget anything. They hold on to a grudge for a long time. When they do something to us, they want us to forgive. They want us to forgive them. They want us to have a good heart. And Jesus says that we should forgive and forget and love your neighbor and blah, 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 right? But when we do something to them, oh, it's a total different story. They hold a grudge. So my opinion is that this movie was created to totally just throw dirt on Mrs. Tubman's legacy and her memory. The people, whoever the writer or writers were or are of this movie, clearly knew what they were doing. Somebody is probably upset, about what she did, about what she stood for, her work, the fact that she led a large movement in history, and were able to, gather a large number of slaves and free them over a period of time of just one woman. They're not happy about that. I mean, white folks are still upset about that. And that's why they took this woman's image and her legacy and shit on it. That's why. They hate that this woman was able to do that and get away with it, and was able and become a free woman, and died in peace in her own home. They hate that. And so that's why they're throwing dirt on her legacy. I mean, this is one of the worst movie of this legend of her. This is her autobiography. For God's sake, I would hate that somebody would make a movie of me, right, and insert some fake characters in the movie, like, oh, she was married to some Asian prince or something. Like, no, but it never happened. It never happened. Why are you adding stuff to somebody's autobiography? Why? Why are we doing that? Okay, so this movie was total garbage. I'm sorry, guys. If you haven't seen this movie, don't waste your money, okay? Use your money to do something else. Put it in a little piggy bank somewhere and save it, okay? If you do plan on seeing it, I would see it on bootleg. I wouldn't waste $1 to see this movie. It's total trash, it's disrespect to Miss Tubman's legacy and her memory. They totally shit on her grave. That's what they did in this movie. I mean, and this chick who played her, oh God, Angela Bassett would have been the perfect character for this movie. She would, I mean, we're talking about bringing this woman's memory and her legacy to life. You know what I mean? You have this little African chick running around looking all scared and this and that. We're talking about a woman who was strong, who not only escaped slavery, but she went back multiple times. Multiple times. This is not a woman that was scared, running around looking all scared and stuttering and all this nonsense. This was a fierce black woman who did not have any fear. And the way they depicted this woman was like she was some little in some places in the movie, it was almost like she was just this little docile scaredy cat. She sucked in this movie. She really sucked. I mean, I understand if they didn't want to get like a big actress and pay that person a lot of money, you know what I mean? And maybe they didn't really pay her a lot of money for this because, you know, she's a nobody. Like, who is she? I don't know who the hell she is, but to me, she's a nobody. You know, so they probably give her a little change for this movie, and she did her best. That's pretty much how I feel about that. Because she really did a horrible job in this. And in some cases, you could hear her African accent in the movie. In some places, like you know, it didn't really sound like. I mean, I've heard people from down south. I've heard how they talk, and it didn't sound how she sounded. I thought they could have found somebody here that is a descendant of Mrs. Tubman, who is able to depict her character and really put some life and some energy and some good spirit into her you know her this story, you know, and bring her to life. You know what I mean? This little thing running around looking all scared, you know, stuttering and all type of nonsense. Really, I mean, I was just like, thank God I didn't waste money to go see this garbage. She really blows. She sucked. She really did. She really did. So I'm gonna get into the movie and what I really hate about this movie, which is pretty much everything about the movie I really hated. You know, I really wish they would have found a real actress for this movie. Somebody who, you know, is a descendant of this woman who struggled right here on this soil on American soil. I really wish they would have had somebody like Miss Bassett or somebody else, you know. But it's a total slap in the face, man. Getting this somebody from over the continent there who just running around looking scared and silly all over the movie, and just the storyline didn't add up with her life. You know what I mean? It just didn't add up. They inserted a fictional character in the movie, which I'm going to get into. Okay? They inserted a fictional character into this woman's autobiography. Somebody in the movie that didn't even exist in real life. They inserted that. You know what I mean? So let's just go down. I made some notes here. Okay? Let's just go down here. So Mrs. Tubman, for those of you who don't know who the heck Mrs. Tubman is, go crawl back underneath your rock where you came from, because come on now. Harriet Tubman, look it up if you don't know who this woman is, right? So clearly a slave, okay? She was a slave in this country, a female slave in this country who was on a plantation with her entire family, her mom, her dad, her brothers, her sisters, right? And she ran away. her sisters were sold, and she didn't want to be sold. So, and she decided, I need to be free. I can't be a slave. I don't want to be a slave. So she ran away. She ran away. Good for her, right? And she ran away. And not only did she ran away, she decided after she ran away and get herself, gather herself, right? I mean, this woman ran for miles, for days. Hundreds of miles, right, from where she was all the way to Pennsylvania, and then she went back to rescue her people. So we're talking about a fierce woman. She wasn't some little scaredy cat who, oh my God, I got away and now I'm safe. I'm done. No, she ran away. She found a safe place. She gathered herself, and then she went back for her people, right? Right. So when I saw this character playing her, just looking all scared and not, just all over the place, I'm like, no. Come on, Miss Harriet she was fierce. She was fierce. So now she ran away, right? And she and she went back, right? She went back, and there was a couple of things in the movie that really, really, really boils, just really grind my gear. And I'm going to tell y'all what it was. Okay, so first of all, the fictional character in the movie, which happens to be some big, scary black dude, right? Yeah, you cannot have a movie without the big, scary black dude. No, sorry, you can't, right? So there's the fake character in the movie that never existed in this woman's life, never existed, right? But somehow they found a fake character, and now they missed a lot of her life. They did not add into this movie. They skip a lot of stuff, right? But somehow they find room for a fake character and inserted him into this movie. So there was some fictional character in this movie, which happens to be some huge, big, scary black dude, who is a slave catcher, a bounty hunter, who happened to be hunting for Miss Tubman. Yeah, right? Yeah. So we're going to talk about him in a second. So Miss Tubman ran away and she decided to come back home, right? She decided to come back home to rescue her family and her husband, right? And she's on her way to the church to speak to the reverend who happened to be another slave, right? A black man, right? And they got to the door of the church. This is one thing that really blows me, okay? They got to the church and one of her brothers say to her, the reverend, this is what the brother says. The brother says, I don't trust the reverend because the reverend says that there's a special place in hell for runaways. Do y'all see the bull crap in this? Do y'all see? So what they're trying to tell us, what the white man is trying to tell us, right, is that our ancestors, well, forget about our ancestors. Black folks are so loyal. The slaves are so loyal to their master that they actually believe that if they were to run away, that there would be a special place in hell for them if they were to run away from the plantation. So this is supposedly what the reverend, who happened to be a black slave, this is supposedly what the reverend has been telling the rest of the slaves when he preached to them. Because, this reverend, he's a preacher and he's preaching to the rest of the slaves, right? And so he's been telling the rest of the slaves, if you run away, there's a special place in hell for you if you run away. So you need to be a loyal little slave to your master. You don't run away because you'll end up in hell. That's where you'll go, right? And so that's the narrative that is being pushed in this movie, right? and in other places as well. We are just dumb, docile slave, and we believe that we're going to go to hell if we don't serve our master. That's it, right? That's the narrative. That's the narrative. Really grinds me, that scene right there. And so we have this big black bounty hunter who is a slave catcher, right? And he's recruited by Harriet's slave master to catch her and bring her back home, right? And so this big huge uh, slave catcher, right, met up with the slave master, and they're asking him, how much do you charge how much do you want? How much should I pay you to catch her? Right? This is what the slave master is asking this big, scary black dude. How much do you want to catch her? How much should I pay you? And he says $200, right? That's what he's telling. That's what he's telling the slave master, right? So the slave master asked him, what, what's a big ugly nigga like you want with $200? That's pretty much what he's asking him. Like, what's some big ugly, Negro like you want with 200? What are you gonna do with $200? And so supposedly this fictional character that was inserted into this movie said, "Oh, I wanted to buy white hose." Yeah. So that's the storyline that was inserted into this movie of this character that never exists. This big dude who never existed, he's going to take his bounty hunting money, right? His slave catching money, and buy himself some white hose. That's the movie. That's the movie. Yeah. So even back then, when slaves were trying to survive, when black folks were trying to come together and survive and help each other get out of bondage, the white man had to throw in there somewhere where the black slave man he just gotta have the white woman. Just gotta have the white woman. He just can't stop lusting after the white woman. He gonna take his bounty hunting money and buy himself some white hose. Where in Miss Tubman's life did this character exist? It's a joke. It's a joke. Some white hose? That's what they put in this movie. This man said he's gonna take the money and buy some white hose. What is this, some hip hop story? Really? Really? Right? Now, at the end of this movie, right? At the end of the movie, after this big, scary black fictional character killed Miss Tubman's friend, one of her very good friend who helped rescue her, who helped take her in, right? This black slave catcher killed her. This black slave catcher who didn't even exist killed one of Mrs. Tubman's very good friend, right? So he attempted to kill Miss Tubman, and her slave master killed the big black dude and saved her life. I'm done. I'm so done. Yeah, that's guys. I'm telling you, y'all need to go watch this movie on bootlegs. Seriously. Don't waste your money. Just go watch it on bootleg. So this big burly, scary black dude, right? Who didn't exist, who's a slave catcher, attempted to kill Miss Tubman, right? Who was escaping, and her slave master, who's been hunting her since she escaped, killed the black dude because the black dude tried to kill Miss Tubman. So he saved this white man, the slave master, saved Miss Tubman's life by killing the big, scary black dude. That's not the end of it, guys. That's not the end of it. So here we are, right? Where after the slave master saved her life, right? Saved her life by killing the big, scary black dude, right? In the woods, right? So here, Mrs. Tubman and this white man, the slave master who saved her life, here they are alone in the woods, right? Alone in the woods. She had a gun because she carried one. He had his shotgun. He's sitting on his horse, right? He's sitting on his horse. She shot him and shot him in his hand, and the gun fell on the floor, on the ground, right? And so he's no longer armed because his gun fell, right? So she tell him, get off your horse, get on your knees, right? He got off his horse, he got on his knees. And so now she picked up his gun and she's holding it right there, right at his head, right? And here I am thinking, son of a bitch, she gonna blow his head off. I'm waiting for it. I'm anticipating this. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to see this, right? And it didn't happen. She didn't blow his head off. Absolutely not. She did not. She didn't blow his head off. I'm like, what's going on? Why is she not blowing his head off? Because that's what I would do. Are you kidding me? My slave master, right? Who got me and my whole entire family, my mom, my daddy, my sisters, my brothers, my whole family on his plantation as slave, right? Killed my sister. I mean, we're talking, right? And here I am in the woods alone with him on his knees, and I have two guns in my possession. One, I'm holding it to his head, a shotgun to his head, right? And I'm standing there and I'm not shooting him. She didn't shoot him. She did not shoot him. No, she didn't. Right? She's standing there and she's talking. She's talking and she's yapping away. She's talking. Because this is how they depict Miss Tubman in this movie. This is the narrative that they pushed, right? So she's standing there just yappering away, just yabbiting away, right? And she's not shooting him. And she started somehow getting all stuttering and crying and blah, 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 blah. And somehow with all what she was saying, Master started crying. I'm like, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. What's going on here? What's going on here? So now the slave master is crying because he's feeling sorry for her and what she's saying, and she's pouring her heart out. Oh, you didn't have my people in slavery. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh, oh. Right? And she got the gun right there, and she's not shooting him. No, she's not. Right? And so now the master is on his knees crying. He's crying. He's feeling bad. He's getting a conscience, right? And so what did Miss Tubman do? This fierce black woman, this fierce woman, what did she do? With two weapons in her hand, what did she do? Mrs. Tubman, according to the writer is the writer of this movie. According to them, Miss Tubman, not only did she not blow this man away, which I would have done, and I'm sure a lot of you guys would have done that, right? No, she didn't shoot him. She took the shotgun and she threw it right down on the ground in front of this slave master that wanted to kill her. Listen, this man wanted her to come back home with him so he could rape and torture the hell out of her. That's what he wanted. While they were standing there talking with him on his knees, he tried to tell her how he knew she wanted him. I'm like, what am I watching here? A love novel? Like, what's this? Like there was some indication where this slave master was trying to say that he know that she wanted him. It was like, are y'all gonna kiss or something? Like, what's going on here? You know? And so she didn't shoot him. She threw the gun down in front of him. And not only did she throw the gun down in front of him, she walked away and left him there on his knees with his home shotgun in front of him. She turned her back and walked away. I'm done. I kid you not. She turned her back. This is the movie. This is how they depicted Mrs. Tubman in this movie. Supposedly she turned her back, walked away from her slave master who's been hunting her this whole entire time, went across state borders, hired a black, big, scary slave catcher to capture her, to help capture her, right? And he finally found her, and there he is, right? There she is, and now she threw the gun down on the ground, right? And she walked away, turned her back to him, walked away, right? And he didn't do anything. He's still on his knees crying. He's still on his knees crying. She got on his horse, right? And she slowly rode away on his horse. She didn't gallop. The horse did not gallop away, right? The horse literally was just taking its little time, walking away. Meanwhile, the slave master is still on his knees crying because he felt so bad. I am so done. I'm so done. I swear to God. Yo, I swear, listen. This is like, we should all be very upset at this bullshit. All of us. Like, if you really don't go to the movie, do not go to the movie. See the movie on bootleg. And y'all will see what I'm talking about. Do not spend $1 watching this movie, okay? I saw it on bootleg, all right? That because I'm not supporting this garbage. I mean, we're talking about a woman who is angry and she's freeing slavery. This woman went back. I don't know how many times she went back to. I mean, this woman had slaves from all different plantations, just rescuing them all across, to Canada, to this place and that place, all over the place. She's rescuing these slaves. And you telling me that she had a chance to kill her slave master and she just left him there and he was all crying and sobbing. Oh, I'm so sorry. Really? This is what happened? This didn't happen. This didn't happen to her. Are you kidding me? So this is the narrative. See, let me tell y'all something. The white man do not want their offspring to see how vicious they are. And they don't want the rest of the world in this day and time to see how vicious they are. So what they're doing is they're remaking these slave movies, and they are putting a Christian spin on it, right? Where everything was so peaceful, nothing bad happened. If any of you guys watched this movie, right? Did you notice that there was no depiction at all of the viciousness of the slave owners? Like, we all know what happened in slavery. We all know that our brothers and sisters were hung, okay? They were whipped, they were beaten, they were in chains and shackles. They were just completely just abused, right? And in this movie, there was none of that. You mean to tell me that there is a movie where slaves are running away from plantation? There's somebody who's rescuing them. And throughout this entire time, you're telling me that there was not one time when somebody got hung for attempting to run away? That somebody got whipped for attempting to run away from a plantation? Like, you didn't see any of that in this movie. It was almost like some peaceful novel in this movie. There was no depiction of how decrepit and evil the white man is. And we all know that they are. And we all know what happened in slavery. We know. We understand. We've seen the history, right? It happened all over the world. It happened right there in Jamaica. It happened here. It happened all over the world. We understand what they did to our people, right? But this movie, where you had hundreds of slaves that was running away from plantation, and we had tons and tons of slave masters that was hunting with dogs, right? They had hound dogs hunting for our people in the woods, and nobody get hung from a tree, right? Because we all know that happened, right? Strange fruits, right? Nobody got whipped, right? Nobody got beaten, shot. No, nobody got punished at all. Like everything just went so peaceful. You know what I mean? Like Miss Tubman just went back and everything just went so peaceful and everybody was so happy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So there was literally no depiction of how vicious the slave masters were at all. There was no depiction at all. So this is what they're trying to teach. They're trying to change the narrative of history. They're literally trying to change history. They're trying to rewrite history and make themselves look so peaceful and good and a human when we know that they're not. This didn't happen. We know what happened in history, right? So this is kind of like they're just spitting on this woman's grave. They're just spitting on her grave. It's a joke. It's a total joke, man. You know, where they just show this legend. They depict her in this movie like she's some docile. It was almost like she was just some docile scaredy cat. You know, just running around being scared. And there was some parts where she's trying to be serious, but I'm sorry, it just wasn't believable. It wasn't, her character was not believable in this movie. She did a shabby, shitty job, you know? Oh, anyway, um, that's my little take on this movie here. Total trash, total absolute garbage, just total complete garbage. Where they show this woman who's supposed to be a warrior. Okay, I mean, this woman had an army of soldiers. They showed her alone in the woods with her slave master, who had her and her family in slavery, and she's this good. You see, this is the part where they're showing you where she's supposed to be this good Christian, right? Because in the movie, Miss Tubman is supposed to be connected, connected to God, where she's talking to God and God is talking back to her, right? And so in the movie, they made her out to be some really docile Christian where despite everything that she had gone through, she somehow had a heart for her slave master to the point where she saved his life. I mean, not saved, she spared his life, where she didn't kill him, right? She left him there in the woods on his knees, where he supposedly he was getting some type of conscience, where he was crying. So supposedly he had a conscience, and she was a good Christian where she didn't kill him. So here we are again, where we are being portrayed as good Christian, good Christian slaves, where we, no matter how abused we get, how much abuse we get, how much we are abused, we are able to forgive our abusers because we are good Christian. And when I tell y'all, that Christianity is the worst thing that could ever happen. It's right there next to slavery. It's right there next to slavery. It's probably the worst, or if not even. I think it was worse than slavery. I think it is, because this is a sickness that affects the mind. See, slavery, you go through the physical abuse, you know what I mean? Christianity is a different type of abuse. It's a psychological abuse that never leaves. It stays with you, you know? And that's what is depicted in this movie, where Miss Tubman is such a loyal Christian, where she let her slave master go and let him live, right? How many of you would have just blown that sucker away right there on his knees? Just blow him away. I know I would. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right? And she just walked away. And not only did she walk away, she turned her back to him. He didn't kill her. He was right there on his knees crying. That never happened. There was no slave master. There was no wicked, horrible, demonic devil that was crying because they had a heart for the people that they bought and sold and raped and hung and beaten. They didn't have a conscience. What are they talking about? Who wrote this piece of trash? Who did? Who wrote this shit? We had a slave master who's crying because he now have a heart and he's feeling bad. And then we have the slave who had a chance, who had 2 guns in her hand, and she had an opportunity to blow this man away, and she just turned her back and walk away from him. Like, what is this? What are we watching here? What are we, like, seriously? Anyway, so that's it, guys. I'm sorry, this is a spoiler. I'm sorry I spoiled it for you. If you didn't see it, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. It's total trash. Go see it on bootleg. This movie was an insult to Mrs. Tubman's legacy, to her memory, and to her ancestors, to her family, to the people who knew her, and also to the people who she rescued. I mean, this movie was a total disgrace and just insult to everybody who was involved at that time. Seriously. It's a total disgrace to our legacy as slaves. Like, seriously. And then they had the nerve to get somebody from a different continent to come over here and play this woman. And did a horrible job at it. As if Black Americans don't have their own actresses right here who could have put some life into this woman's character. It's a total shame. It's a total disgrace. It's a total disrespect to Mrs. Tubman's legacy, man. And I personally, I'm very, very pissed off because, y'all can have Bob Marley. I don't give a damn about Bob Marley because Bob Marley's father was white, and I don't give a damn. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, Bob Marley was a white man. I don't care if his mother was black. That's just how I see things. Okay. Y'all don't have to agree with me on everything. Okay, but that's how I see things. All right. Y'all can have Bob Marley. I don't give a damn who played Bob Marley. I could care. Did anybody play Bob Marley yet? I don't even remember, and I don't care. But I don't care who they get to play Bob Marley. But when it comes to anybody else, y'all not gonna get nobody from somebody from the continent over there, or somebody from Asia or wherever, and come out there and play. We're not gonna have that. And I certainly would not support anything like that. Somebody coming over, even from here in America. I wouldn't support somebody coming from America and going to Jamaica to play one of our national heroes there. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm talking about our real heroes, our brothers and sisters who were real heroes. I wouldn't appreciate if somebody comes all the way from Haiti or America or Africa somewhere. No. This is our culture. We need to play that shit. Are you kidding me? But anyway, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. That's my little take on the movie, guys. Don't waste your time. Total trash, total garbage. My understanding is this movie only made about, I don't know, $10, $11 million or something like that. right? So it flopped, total flop in the theater, right? Of course, okay. Thank you guys for those of you who do not plan on seeing this movie. Um, Thanks for not supporting it, because this is a total, especially for those of you so-called Black Americans, right? You shouldn't waste $1 to see this because this is a disrespect to you guys. It's a disrespect to you guys because this woman, this is your ancestor right here in the you guys, you're the lineage. You know what I mean? You're the offspring of this woman. This is your culture right here in America. This is how they are depicting your culture. Just a big total lie. Anyway, I'm done. Give me a thumb up, guys. Crazy. I will talk to you guys later. Don't support that movie. It's total trash. All right. I'll see you guys later. Give me a thumb up. See you guys later. Bye bye.